Imagine turning to stone in an instant, your body a lifeless statue, but your mind, your consciousness, screaming, trapped for all eternity. This isn't a myth from ancient Greece. It's the terrifying reality for anyone who lays eyes upon Ghatanothoa, deep beneath the earth, sealed within the volcanic fortress of Mount Yaddith-Gho. On the lost continent of Mu slumbers a being of unimaginable horror. They say it is the firstborn of Cthulhu, a colossal, amorphous entity, a chaotic mass of tentacles, maws, and eyes that defy every law of nature. Its very form is an assault on sanity. Ancient texts, forbidden scrolls whispered about in shadowed libraries, describe the fall of Mu. The civilization was advanced, powerful, yet they lived in constant dread of what slept beneath them. Priests and shamans dedicated their lives to performing complex rituals, not of worship, but of containment, weaving powerful wards to keep the great Old One imprisoned in its subterranean tomb. They knew that if Ghatanothoa were to ever awaken and rise, it would not bring swift destruction. It would bring a fate far, far worse. The curse of Ghatanothoa is absolute. It's not a gaze you can avoid, or a power you can resist. A mere glimpse, whether at the entity itself, or even a perfect, magically created image of it, triggers an instantaneous and horrifying transformation. The process is known as the touch of the mummifier. Your flesh hardens, turning to a leathery, petrified hide. Your organs calcify, becoming inert stone. Your blood ceases to flow. From the outside, you become a perfectly preserved mummy, a grotesque statue frozen in a moment of ultimate terror. But the true horror lies within. Your brain, though also petrified, remains perfectly, horrifyingly functional. Your mind is untouched. You are fully aware, trapped inside a paralyzed, stone-like shell. You can think, you can feel the passage of eons, the slow erosion of your stony prison, the dust settling in your unblinking eyes. You can't move, can't speak, can't even close your eyes. You are a conscious mind, locked in a living tomb for eternity, a silent witness to the endless march of time. This eternal, conscious paralysis is the true power and cruelty of Ghatanothoa. It doesn't kill you. It steals your life, leaving your mind to suffer in an unbreakable, timeless prison. Think about it. Every thought, every memory, replaying over and over, with no hope of escape, no hope of an end. Just the silent, screaming awareness of your own horrific fate. The legends of Mu tell of a brave high priest named Chiarg who dared to challenge the entity. He believed he had found a way to defeat Ghatanothoa without looking at it. He prepared a special scroll, a magical formula that could supposedly counteract the petrification and grant him protection. He believed that by reciting its incantations, he could destroy the entity and free his people from its shadow. Chiarg descended into the labyrinthine tunnels beneath Mount Yaddith-Gho, navigating the dark, cyclopean passages that led to the Great One's chamber. His heart pounded with a mix of terror and righteous determination. The air grew thick and foul, vibrating with a low, subaudable hum that grated on the soul. He held his scroll tightly, his only shield against the madness that awaited. But the followers of Ghatanothoa, a debased cult that worshipped the very thing that would destroy them, had learned of his plan. They were jealous of their god's power and feared Tiag's success. In an act of ultimate betrayal, a rival priest switched Tiag's protective scroll with a fake one, an almost identical copy, but utterly powerless. Unaware of the deception, Tiag reached the central chamber. He stood before the colossal vault that held Ghatanothoa, took a deep breath, and began the ritual to open the gate. As the ancient stone doors ground open, he averted his eyes, beginning to chant the words from the scroll he believed would save him. But the words were meaningless. In that split second, a sliver of Ghatanothoa's form was revealed. Before he could even register the betrayal, the curse took him. Tiag was petrified instantly, his hand outstretched, his mouth open in a silent, eternal scream. The last thought in his fully conscious mind was the crushing realization of his failure, a thought that would echo in his petrified brain for all of time. His statue became another grim monument in the darkness, a warning to any who would dare follow. After Tiag's failure, the dread on the continent of Mu became unbearable. The civilization crumbled, not from war or natural disaster, but from sheer psychological terror. The people abandoned their magnificent cities, fleeing to other parts of the world, carrying with them only fragmented tales and a deep, instinctual fear of what they left behind. Eventually, the continent itself was swallowed by the ocean in a great cataclysm, sinking beneath the waves and taking Mount Yaddith-Gho and its horrifying prisoner with it. Mu became a myth, and Ghatanothoa a forgotten nightmare. But does forgotten mean gone? For millennia, Ghatanothoa has slumbered in its watery grave. But the earth is not static. Tectonic plates shift, volcanoes rumble, and the ocean floor rises and falls. What is to say that Mount Yaddith-Gho will not one day breach the surface once more? What happens when some unsuspecting deep-sea expedition or drilling operation stumbles upon an unnatural cyclopean structure on the ocean floor? They might see it as the discovery of a lifetime, the lost city of a fabled civilization. In their ignorance and excitement, they would surely seek to open the great vault to uncover the secrets held within. They would have no idea that they are not opening a king's tomb, but a prison. They would be unleashing a horror that the ancient world sacrificed itself to contain. The first explorer to peer inside, perhaps with a submersible's camera, would broadcast the image to the world. In an instant, anyone watching that live feed on any screen across the globe would share Tiag's fate. Billions of statues frozen in their homes, their offices, their cars, a world of silent, screaming mummies. An entire planet of conscious minds trapped in petrified bodies forever. Ghatanothoa would not need to move or conquer. Its very image would be the ultimate weapon of mass extinction, an apocalypse of eternal, silent suffering. The age of man would end not with a bang, but with a horrifying, collective stillness. So the next time you hear tales of lost continents and sunken cities, Remember the story of Ghatanothoa. Remember that some doors are best left unopened, and some secrets are better left buried deep beneath the sea. The greatest horrors are not always the ones that destroy us, but the ones that leave us to contemplate our own destruction for an eternity. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the abyss. If you enjoy exploring these forgotten corners of cosmic dread, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more tales from the edge of reality. Stay curious, but stay safe.